Hey everyone. Jeff from Ohio sent me a list. He actually sent me two. He's going to an event in September and he's thinking about which one to bring and if I have any feedback for him on that. And of course I do. And I will link the pack here in the comments. Sorry, not in the comments, in the doobly-doo. In the description, I'll just copy in the main ideas of the pack. Basically, it's a 1250 with a 16-point order cap and a little bit of comp so that it doesn't turn into a multi-rocket launcher fest or whatever. So let's go and see what it is that Jeff is thinking of bringing, shall we? So the first list is a 15 order dice, 1249 German reinforced platoon. This is a thematic platoon, Jeff writes, and it's based on part of the North African campaign. So there are certain limitations that he's put upon himself for this, which is perfectly fine. He brings a regular second lieutenant, Schützen, and these are almost obligatory. If you're going to run North African DAC, bring the Schützen, especially because if it's allowed, you can take one light machine gun for free. I don't think that these are actually for free. I think he's paid for them because of the points value. It's 6 men. I think maybe there's, anyways. But they are good skirmish units. They're good backline holders. These, anyways. If you're paying for them, Jeff, they're not worth it. If you get them for free, then they are worth it. And I know the pack allows for at least 100 points of free stuff, which I don't know how they're going to check that because, I mean, the Japanese get Fnatic for free. Anyway, medium howitzer, regular. I would ideally have a spotter with this if you're running it regular because you can use it. You could cut down the tractor for bring a mule or a horse-drawn limber instead and just bring a spotter for the artillery. Motorcycle with machine gun sidecar? Yes, lovely, lovely, lovely. We love those, don't we? They're really good. And a Panzer IV. Yeah. The Panzer IV, it's 9+, it's got Tiger Fear, it's way too expensive. But since you are putting limitations on yourself, I understand this as a thematic choice. It's not a competitive choice. It doesn't work competitively. But it is a thematic choice, having that Panzer IV. The second platoon here is another second lieutenant. Storm Pioneers, another Schützen squad. This is the 5th one, so they should be free. These light machine guns should be free. The Sturmpistole, not worth it really. It's a +3 6-inch. It's bring flamethrowers. Flamethrowers, they're worth it. Sturmpistole, not so much. Another motorcycle and an open blitz. Flak 38. This is a nice one though. That light autocannon there. That's good. And a truck. This truck should be here in order to transport up Storm Pioneers, but the Storm Pioneers don't really have the punch that they need. They need that flamethrower. So you need to cut down on points somewhere in order to afford the flamethrower, I think. I think that could be important for your list here. Okay, so that was the German list. Not bad. A lot of points being sunk into this one tank. I don't think it's worth it, but you do have the points. At 1250, you do have the points to spare. It's just a lot of points. The second one that he brings is not a 17 order dice. He writes it's actually a 16 order dice. There's just some little mix up. 1250 brings second lieutenant, regular, You know, you could cut this down to an inexperienced, give him an extra man. Infantry sections. Canadian infantry, so toughest boots, that's the extra attacks in close combat. 1 per 3, so it's a 9-man unit. It doesn't need to be this big, but it's pretty okay. And they're stubborn, because Canadians. Free artillery observer with an extra man, that's pretty nice. Canadian engineers, again, no flamethrower. Why? Why buy all these submachine guns when you're not... You know, you should bring us at least one flamethrower in your lists if you can. I think that the pack allows that. So I don't think that these engineer sections are the route you need to take. They're stubborn. They do have submachine guns and toughest boots, so they are pretty deadly. But they're just 5-man regulars. They're going to get shot to bits. Oh, here comes the flamethrower. There we go. That's it. I think the other engineer section just make them into regular infantry sections. Worth more. Toughest boots, yeah. I don't think you can take both the national characteristics and the Commonwealth. So I think you need to take just the Commonwealth ones, but up to your TO. I'm not an expert on that. You could save a few points on the sniper team as well, making them regulars, which would enable you to have a few points left over to play around with the infantry sections. Then we have a light howitzer with spotter, 25-pounder, that's all good. Early war motorcycles, these are really good. I just painted mine and I've been playing around with them and they're really good. White scout car, 8-man transport, all the machine guns on this. This is not worth it points for value, but it is fun. It's really fun. The 8-man transport, what would that be for? What would that be? So these are 9 men. So it would be... no. I don't know what you would transport in that. None of the units really fit. The brain carriers are for the engineers. 5-man, perfect size. But only one of them is actually needed for that. And then a Sherman 2A, 76mm. That's a heavy anti-tank gun. Again, you're sinking a lot of points into that one tank. Get yourself a Chaffee instead. If you don't like bringing the Darker Steward, which I understand, it's not for everyone, get a Chaffee. Or get the Howitzer Sherman. Just as good, better even. The Howitzer Sherman, because you can fire indirectly, so it turns into an artillery piece that's 9+, sits in your back lines in heavy cover in a ruin or something. Perfect. These point sinks, this is a Deathstar unit, like the Panzer IV Deathstars. They're typically not worth their points. They are never ever going to be enough of a threat to validate you spending 235 points on them. Even at 250, they're not going to be it. So I would rather you spend the points on your infantry, like make some of these units large, chunky units, and they don't need to be transported, all of them. So spend points on what actually boosts your army here. Like give your lieutenant extra men. He is already regular. Make him an infantry unit. Give him 2 extra men because they get free SMGs, right? Your Canadian infantry, they look good. Why not buy more of them? I think that could be the way to go, instead of sinking all your points into that one Sherman that then faces off against an enemy Panzer IV and gets obliterated with one shot. Right. So yeah, it's never going to pay its way. Right. For me, between the German list and the Canadian one, I think the German list has better infantry. If those Schützen are actually free machine guns. But I don't think the Panzer IV is worth it. The Canadian list is better overall. It's got all those armored transport vehicles, so it's a pseudo tank list with a lot of Dakar and skirmish. I think Canadian is the one that's the way to go, but I think the German list also has potential. I think both of them suffer from their choice of tanks, though. So that was my comments. Good luck at the tournament, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.